All right, guys, let's get started here. Welcome to the live session. Today's January 21st, Wednesday. All right, so been wild times in the market lately, right? A lot of volatility. We had a lot of chop, then we had that run up, then we had that drawback, then we had that run up, and now we had the drawback. Lots of pops and drops, lots of chopping around. So here we gotta take a step back and see this long channel that we are in ES, and we hit that lower end of the channel, we popped it up, and then here yesterday we broke out of that the rising wedge here that we said that we broke out of yesterday, not yesterday. Oh yeah, yesterday. Yesterday, that rising wedge that we broke out of, and then today, what did we do? We lost that channel, and then today we got right back into that channel. So we got right back into that channel. And we closed right above that 6909. So we're still in the channel now, and if we're here at that channel, now we see the RSI here getting back above 50. So if this is all that, if this is decided to hold this channel, then this is the bottom, right? This is the bottom, and we're gonna hold this and go up, and we're gonna break the new highs, and we're gonna create new highs. Okay, so that's what it's looking like. Okay, so far we need tomorrow to follow through. We could easily sell off again tomorrow, and then we're back where we were. This market is pretty wild like that. But if we do take off and confirm, that kind of gives us an idea of what's going on with this whole Greenland situation that's in the news currently. Because that's going to bring us a lot of minerals. It's going to bring us trade routes. It's going to bring a lot of economic growth in here, and then maybe the market's going to say, "Hey, we realize that," and then this is going to take off. And what's going to be the biggest beneficiaries of those is going to be the electric car companies, right? The Teslas. Um, those are the Teslas. I think is going to benefit a lot. That's why it acted up so much today. That's why it popped up so hard, sold off so hard, and then popped up again so hard. I think that's going to be a big benefiter of that. All right, so let's remove this channel. So we had a channel and a channel, right? So we have the larger channel, and then we had this little channel in here. Okay, we removed that. We can see that chop area came up, came back, tested that, held it, came this chop area. Then we came back inside this chop area, held that area, came back inside, holding the channel now, the larger channel we're holding. Okay, if we follow through and get back over that 20 SMA tomorrow or Friday, if we get over those, that's going to confirm, hey, we're back in here. We try to break down, we didn't. As long as we stay away from that 6,900, we're good to go, right? We're good to go higher. We're good to go to make new highs. So this would be a time where we're thinking, okay, time to get longer term SPY calls, longer term QQQ calls, longer term situation at SPX, lotto situations, or even swings, right? Volatility is wild, but if we do hold this and we do confirm, it's going to give us a little bit more peace of mind that, okay, our direction is going up. Okay, of course, there's going to be, rhetoric and, one day this, one day that. That's the situation of the market environment that we're in. But currently, I'm thinking if we could get out of all of this chop, because we're at the bottom of this, right? Every time we're chopping around and we hit the bottom of this, we get some kind of nice rally. Okay, so this is the beginning. This is the beginning of this rally. We had 4 or 5 days. Okay, then here if we have say 3-4 days. Okay, tomorrow's 2. Then we get another Friday. Maybe one Monday. Okay, if not, even if we get it till Friday, that'd be 3 nice days. Okay. So, do we take advantage of this? Of course, we're trying to, right? Trying to take advantage of that. So if we could get 3 nice days and get back to 7,000 by Friday, that'd be golden. Okay, as long as tomorrow doesn't sell off, and we don't have any news about war or anything like that, or pushback and this and that, you know, I'm sure it's gonna come, but as long as it's not tomorrow, okay. If it's not tomorrow, then I think we're gonna be good, right? If we could get over that 95.53.75 tomorrow, I think we could get to 7,000 by Friday. Okay, 7,000, maybe even a little bit more than 7,000 by Friday. If we could have 3 good days, cool. And then maybe over the weekend something happens and it pulls back again down to 69.50. And then we set that up, and then during the week we take off again to making new highs. That's the best case scenario, I think. Well, I mean, the best case scenario is we just go straight up, right? That's the obvious best case scenario. But the other best case scenario is we rally these next 2 days, right? Because we already rallied today. The next 2 days we rally up to 7,723, okay, area. We test the highs again, okay, and then maybe over the weekend we pull back again, and then we set up, and then we rally again during next week. Okay, I think that's the best case scenario that could happen. But I also think, that's if we're gonna hold this channel, if we're gonna hold this long-term channel that we've been holding for a very long time, always since last year March. Yeah, right. Last year March. Last year March we created it. Yeah, March we created this, and we're back right here at the lower end. So if we could hold that, set up, confirm tomorrow, I think we're good to go till Friday, and then over the weekend, who knows what's gonna happen. But if it continues to go, or if it pulls back, I think it's gonna set up to go again. So I'm thinking that it's good. I think it's a good spot in the chart. The only negative that I see here, I will show you, because there's always 2 sides to a story. So the only negative I see here is this. Is we got, one shoulder, we got the head, and then if we reject 69.56 tomorrow, right? We reject that, and then Friday we could do the head and shoulders and then drop it off. Okay? So if we reject this here, right? We reject that, and then Friday we could come and just do one of these down, right? And that would be a head and shoulders pattern. So that is a possibility, and it will be a rejection of trying to reclaim the trend. So that's the only thing. So we want to see tomorrow get over that 69.53.75. Get over that. Friday we want to continue that to the 7,000. Okay? So Friday's the big one. So tomorrow we want to get over that 69.53. We don't want to reject. Friday is a big one because we don't also want to gap up to it, sell off all the way hard, over some news that it's not happening, or some news that everybody's going to war, or Russia stepped in, China stepped in, and all of this mess. Because if this happens, then most likely we're outside of the channel now. We're outside of the channel, and we're going to hit the 100 SMA, which is going to be right here at 67.88. Okay, most likely we hit 67.56, and then maybe that holds. If it does, then we try to come back, and maybe we're grinding on the channel for a little bit. But if not, then this just breaks down, and say there are threats and all this blah blah blah. Then we come down to 6,600. Okay, and 6,600 is where I think that would take it if we do get that head and shoulders pattern instead of 3 days. 1, 2, 3 days up. If we get rejected at the 69.53, and then Friday, we don't clear it and we sell off, that's where we're gonna be going. So if we get on Friday, just know if we're rejecting and selling off, we're gonna come down to 6,800, 67.88. Okay, but if not, we're going straight up to 7,000. Okay, I prefer to go to 7,000 because I see a lot of tech boosted up, booming up. I said before that AI takes a lot of energy, right? It takes a lot of energy, and that energy also needs a lot of rare earth minerals, and Greenland has a lot of that stuff. So that's gonna help with the AIs, the techs. The techs are gonna do well as well, and you saw a little taste of that today. AMD got out of its resistance spot that it's been banging on for the last 3-4 weeks, maybe even a month or two, and we're seeing that. We're starting to see that. So there's positive in the market with the idea that the market's going to go rally. So I'm just giving you the whole spiel, but just let it know. We rally, going to 7. If we don't, we're going to do this head and shoulders and then drop it to 6,800, 67.88. Right? All right, SPY. Okay, transitioning to SPY. Okay, SPY, we had that rising wedge, dropped off. Okay, now we turned around, we got back up above the 685. Okay, we fell short of 686, but not that short. I think we hit the 20 SMA and then we pulled back at 688. But I think we could get over that tomorrow. If we could get over that tomorrow, it looks golden. Friday, I think we'll be at like 695. 695, maybe even a little bit more. Okay. So that's going to be our best case scenario, because if we have the drop with the rising wedge and then we rally on up by Friday, then this is going to be a false breakdown down, and then we're going to rally on up to the upside, and we're going to break those all-time highs. So could be a great time to get 700 calls for a month or two out. Okay, or whatever longer term SPY calls you want. Because like I said, ES is on the lower end of the channel. SPY is going to join right there too. So it's going to be set up for our higher targets, 718, 720. And we have our 750s and higher. And that could all happen if we get right back up there by Friday. Okay. And if it doesn't, we have that same head and shoulders pattern right here. So if we just come up and fill this gap, if we just come up tomorrow and fill this gap and then reject, and then Friday we have a negative candle, we could come all the way back down to this 673. Okay. So how the market has been lately. Every pop we get, it's a drop. Every drop we get, it's a pop. So, we have this all-time highs, then we drop, boom. Then we go back to the highs, and then we drop, boom. So we might come back up here, and then we drop again, boom. So just prepare for that. So if we do rally on up to these, nice areas of 91, 92, then, just prepare to be like, hey, I'm going to get some hedges for some 685 puts, some 680 puts, maybe even 675 puts, just in case, we wake up over the weekend or wake up Monday, Tuesday, whatever day it is, and then there's some kind of thing that dropped the market at 1,000, 1,500, whatever amount of points. So just keep that in mind. Be mindful. I think that we're going up. I think we're going to rally up. I think we're going to do well. I think we're going to get back up here. But when we are up here, if we're in these general areas, just a beaten cat or beaten dog, flinches when someone raises their hand to pet them. So you're up here, even though it's a good thing, just to get a little flinch and get some hedges up there, because you never know what's going to happen in this market. A lot of volatility. All right. But I do think it looks good, and I think it does look like it's going to go higher. All right, let's look at NASDAQ. All right, NASDAQ here, we had that breakout, fake out, breakout, fake out again. And we're on that lower end of the box. See that box that we've been in? We're in the lower end. We hit the 100 SMA, held it, bullish engulfing here. So we're back in here. So this one's going to the 20 SMA. It's at 25,690. Okay, gonna go to 25,727. Okay, and then we have these three areas here. But I think it's only come back by Friday. I think we'll be at like 25.8 or 25.9 by Friday. Tomorrow, I think we do get that 25.7 though. So, I mean, it looks good. RSI is coming back over 50. Squeeze forming. It looks good. Okay, this box is still there. We haven't broke through it. We broke through it here, but this one gave us a bullish engulfing, so cancel that out. So that one looks good still. Looks good. And once we get out of that box, we're going to take off to 26,600. So once we get out of this box above 26,000, we go to 26,600. So we'll rally up 600 points once we get out of this box. Okay, on the downside, I don't really see a head and shoulders pattern here. The worst I see here is maybe an inverted cup and handle, and that would probably take us down to 24,600 and 24,160. Worst case scenario, I think, here. Okay, but so far we're still looking good. I mean, we're only 100 and what 100? No, I'm sorry, not 100. That's 25,590 versus 26,399. We're not that far away. Not that far away from all-time highs. But we're not that far away also to the top of the box. So that we could get there by Friday. Okay, QQQ. All right, QQQ, the same box. Okay, we're at the lower end of the box. Okay, we hit that 100 SMA. Okay, and came up here, got back the 615.85. We hit the 620 that we mentioned earlier in the chat. If you're in the chat, we said we're targeting that 620. Hit that 620, came back down, but we closed over 615.85. That's good. That's good. So we get over here. We get over this. We stay over this 615.85. Okay, we get over that 620, 622.67 is our target that we need to get over, and 625 is what we want to get to as well. We want to get on by Friday. I would say about 626.50 to 627 by Friday. Okay. On the downside, if we fall off, 602, 690 area. That's gonna be the big area. 590 to 587. That's gonna be the big area that if we do drop, that's gonna be the big area to buy. But I don't think we go there. I think we stay, and then we go, and then we go back up. But you gotta see both sides. Okay. All right, did SPY QQQ. That one stock I told you guys during the whole drama here, IWM was going to take off. It's been taking off, and I'm guilty of it myself. I haven't even been playing it, and I'm the one that said it was going to take off, and I'm the one that said it was going to do well, and it's been doing phenomenal. So from 242, we said it's going to go either way, up or down. Gonna take a take a run. First it went down, now it's going up, and it's doing well. Broke out today. Very strong, high volume. It's going to 272 and 280. Not a bad long to get here. Not a bad long to get here. IWM. I know I was talking about it all this time, and I slacked. I didn't grab it, but maybe some of you did. Okay, but IWM looks good. 272, 275, then 280. Looking very strong, very strong. All right, DIA. DIA is it had this bull flag, dropped down 285. Then it got back over this 20 SMA today and got back over the bull flag support at 490. So it looks good. For the bull flag still, it's still going to be consolidating in here. But I think, if we get up there with all the markets getting up in the same areas, I think, this one should be breaking out soon as well. We break that 496, we're going to go to 500, So we're going to go 500. And then, we're going to go 504. So we break this, we go 500, 504 on DIA. So everything's looking good, everything's looking good. I mean, everything's, DIA's at all-time highs. Let me see. IWM's at all-time highs as well. QQQ and SPY are not that far away from all-time highs as well. Okay. All right, first one, let's get into Microsoft. All right, Microsoft. All right, let's go remove this here. All right, so Microsoft, what caught my eye today at Microsoft? Well, Microsoft, had this huge breakout here. We didn't get our targets there. We came back right now. I know you see this big gap and well, maybe it's coming here. Maybe it is. But what I saw today is the 20 SMA is right here at 450. Okay, 450 is where around the time I bought it. I bought it around 450. Monthly chart, 450 support. Okay, we also have this area right here, 450 support. Previous breakout here. Previous resistance was right here, 450. Cleared that 450. Now it's coming back to test it. I think it's going to hold that 450. Okay, we go to the weekly. Okay, weekly chart. Okay, the 100 SMA is at 446. Okay, I think we hold it. Okay, already it seems like it wants to hold it. Okay, I think by the end of the week, this is going to be a reversal candle, and it's going to look like a very nice reversal candle. Was it next week? Yeah, next week is going to be earnings. I think that's going to take it up. So I got calls for next week and this week. But I do think we're gonna come back inside above 451, either tomorrow or Friday. I don't think we're losing this 450. So if we could get back up to 455, maybe even 457.50, that's gonna be a win. Most likely gonna get around this area for 451 to 457.50. Set up for a weekly candle that's a nice reversal. For then next week is earnings, and then it's gonna do whatever it wants for earnings. But I think it's gonna hold and it's gonna go. You're not gonna have SPY, QQQ, and all these other things breaking out, going all-time highs without Microsoft is a big player in the game. Okay, and then plus the RSI on the day here, 25%. It's 25. It's super low. It's super low. What else we got? We got 4-hour chart. We got bullish divergence on the 4-hour chart. um, which RSI was super low as well at 22. So that's another thing caught my eye. Um, we need to get above that 450. Yes, we do. Okay. Weekly chart, that 100 SMA. Okay, but all it is right here, we need to break that. We need to break that here, and that is around 453. So we could break that tomorrow and get to 455. That'd be great. That'd be great. Amazing. If we just break, we just gap up, and we do an inside day, that's gonna be fine too. You know, we get an inside day here, and we close at 450. Okay, and then Friday, we bust through 450 and we get to 457.50. That's a great possibility as well. That's gonna say turn around in that bottom, and it's gonna run for next week. Okay. Now, if we don't do any of those and we just fall, you know, which is it's pretty hard for me to think that, but if it does, you know, we're gonna go down to 425, and then if you think that gap's gonna get filled, then the earnings are gonna be not good. So we just drop it all the way down to 400 on earnings, and then we take it from there. But you know, that's on an idea that we're gonna have that gap fill. Are those gap fills necessary? They're not. But do they happen sometimes? Yes, they do. So if you want, you could do, you know, you could hedge Microsoft next week. You know, either 400 put, you know, even 410 put, 415 put. You know, you could hedge for tomorrow, Friday. You do a 425 put. You could even do 435 put. It's a lot cheaper, right? But if we're gonna drop and keep dropping, we're gonna go to 425. Okay, because that's the top of the gap. So that's what that's where we would go. So right there. Okay, so if we do drop there, which I don't think it's gonna happen, but if so, that's gonna be your target. Okay, 424. And if we are gonna go there this week or even next week, then you know I would anticipate we're going to 400 and those earnings, or we go to 400 before the earnings and then earnings saves it. But as of right now, I think that we're gonna just get back over that 450. All right, Netflix. All right, Netflix. Here, we hit that 82.89. Okay. I said that's the area to buy. Why did I say that's the area to buy? Because this is the area that these guys bought. Okay. This is the area that these guys bought. Bought there, rallied up. Okay, this one. Okay, boom. We see that there's good support there so far. Okay. On the daily here, had earnings. Earnings dropped some. Okay. Popped right here. Okay. Popped up. Okay. Nice volume. Okay. I know we got those 85 calls for March. I think those are solid. I think we could see, you know, by March we could see Netflix back into the hundreds for sure. For sure back into the hundreds. So I wouldn't be stressing about those ones. Probably maybe even get some February ones as well. I think by that time we would be in the hundreds as well. Okay, but I think obviously tomorrow we need to see follow through. You know, we if we gap up tomorrow and then sell off, you know, we have a problem. But if we see follow through, I think we could safely say that, you know, there's a bottom happened on Netflix. And you know, Netflix is, as well as like the RSI here is 21, right? 21. So it was at 17 earlier. So we have 265% of the volume today. Big volume today. So I think that we bottomed. We have to see tomorrow. If we could gap fill tomorrow at 87.50, it's a good indication that we bottomed. We're gonna start going up. And we're gonna start heading higher towards the 20 SMA, which is at 90. Okay, so 90 is what we have to get over. 91 is actually what we have to get over. Once we get over that, then we could go to 100. All right. Amazon. Okay, so Amazon, I think we played it a little, right? Didn't we play it like a week or two ago? We made some money on it, but then, I don't like these arches. Remember the upside down U's? I don't like those too much. Okay, we did hold the 230 level. Somebody asked me earlier about this, and I said it was down here at 226. I said it looks like it's going to 225. I said, but if it could hold 230 level, that's when I would be looking at it for long. So if the markets are going to be going higher, then Amazon will be a floater with it. So yeah, this one could go 236.50. Okay, 238 is the top of this resistance here. So if it wants to make a V-shaped recovery, cool. But we got to be careful on those V-shaped recoveries, because sometimes when they do that, it's a double top and it comes right back down. But if you want to play it right here, that's perfectly you can. So I would say 238.50, and then if you go to 248, 249, watch that double top area. Okay. All right. MU. All right, MU. MU looks great. MU is in this nice channel. Okay, it hit our first target here of 385.50. Okay, it looks like the next target is 447. And it looks like it's just going to travel into this channel. There's no bearish divergence. Stochastics looks good. This one's just going to continue on trending up to that 447. We'll put in some additional targets here. Got 420 on the middle right there. So we're going to continue on. 400, of course, is a major target. So we'll hit 400 as well. With 400, but once that 400 is passed, just know we're gonna go to that 447. Okay. Okay, so JP Morgan. So what was it, a week or two ago I said the banks were topping out. I think Citibank I said was topping out. It looks like all the banks topped out, right? They all topped out. JP Morgan is right at 300, so it's down $37 from the highs. So this is good support though. RSI is just fading though below 50. It's at 36, but Stochastic's still not ready yet. I think it could go 295 still. Maybe even revisit that 100 SMA. 200 SMA. So I would think it goes to 295 still. Or if it bounces here, well, it's probably going to bounce here. I think it bounces at like 295, 294 area, and then makes a big giant head and shoulders. So I think that's what happens on JP Morgan. Yeah, because when I look at the banks, I look at Goldman Sachs as a strong one. And Goldman Sachs, we put in a new high, but it's weak. And it's the strongest one. Almost hit 1,000. I said, be careful at that 1,000. Almost hit 1,000. It still might. It might attract it. But what did I say? What did I say before? I said, everybody wants to sell at 1,000. Everybody has either right before 1,000, right after 1,000, right at 1,000. Remember I said that, like on those big hold numbers, people are anticipating sells there. So they're selling right before, and there was a big player who sold right before 984, 70. And look at that divergence. We got a big bearish divergence there. Stochastic's already fallen. So this one looks like it's probably going to come right back to that 20 SMA. Maybe hold that 920 for a little, but I think it's ultimately coming back to 876 within the end of, no, not the end of the month. By February 20th, I think we would see 876 on GS. And then what city? Man, city, I called it up here, and now it's all the way there. Oh well. You win some, you lose some. But this one channel, I think city still goes to the 50 SMA here. But I think it holds the channel, and I think it sets up and then starts going up. I think the biggest thing that hurt the banks maybe is I don't think as much, but the whole talk about interest rates and credit cards and stuff, that might have had a bit kind of effect on there. But Visa and MasterCard, they kind of they've been down since that talk started, but they haven't really been doing much. I think that it started. Yeah, they kind of looking the same as the banks. They caught down and then kind of just finding their grounding here. So we're gonna hear more news on that. It was supposed to be today, right? Today they were supposed to talk about that whole thing about capping all the credit cards at 10%. But we'll see where that comes from. There's a lot going on. There's credit cards. There's healthcare. There's Greenland. There's a lot of moving parts in the markets right now. So who knows if if they set back or set a different date and this one shoots up. The banks or Visa, MasterCard, they could shoot up on some short-term positive news. I mean, MasterCard, same thing. It's right here finding its grounding. Just like everything else in the financial sector. But, I mean, this is a really nice spot for MasterCard if you look at it. That support. So this could go two ways, right? Huge. It could go huge two ways. We could either bounce back up to about 560, okay, or we could drop it all the way down. Let's see, we bounce it up to 560. Okay, that's 30 points. Okay, and then we could drop it down to 495. 495. We could drop it down to 495 or bounce it up to 560. Okay. That's a $30 move each way. It's pretty good. Okay, I mean, you could either do a strangle or straddle on this, but we do have earnings coming up at the end of the month. But it looks good. I actually think it looks good. The stochastics are almost there to turn it around. It might look good for a bounce, maybe a short-term bounce. So we'll see. But yeah, that's my whole spiel on financials. So I did the JP Morgan, Citibank. Okay. All right, BA looks great. BA looks great. It's rallying up. It's looking solid. I think it goes 455, 460. I don't like earnings on BA too much. Really don't. I used to like when I first was trading BA back very long time ago. I mean, BA was a monster, just all the time. Because it's such a monster. Now BA is just like it doesn't do much on earnings. It either has a flat earnings or has a positive earning. I think the only time earnings was good is when they had negative earnings. I think it was real bad negative earnings. No, there's another one. This one had negative earnings, but that one was really bad. Forgot which one it was, but I think it was one where it bottomed. Over here. This one. Was it this one? It was one of them. Maybe it's this one. I don't know. One of them. But BA earnings coming up. I'm gonna play this till 260, and the leaps and everything. I'm just gonna leave because the leaps are good, all the way. I think BA. I said it. I said it last year. I'll say it again. I think BA's year is 2026. So this is the first earnings of 2026. Hope it doesn't prove me wrong. But I think BA's year is 2026, and I think that BA is going to 300 plus. It's already on its way. I mean, we have if we have one good earnings here, we're already at 280. I mean, before we hit to the earnings, I think we're going to be 260, 267. So if we break that 267.50, we break the 280, we're already at 300. We're going. So the leaps for the 300, 350, 2 years out, 400 calls, or not 400 calls, 450 calls. I think those are solid. Those are solid. I think, even if we miss the earnings in the beginning of the year, for whatever case, or it's just flat, I think it's just January. I think BA has so much time to hit that 300, and it's not that far. It's not that far. But yeah, the end of the month ones that I have for 260, I'm selling those at 260. I'm not gonna keep them all the way to earnings. But I am gonna be selling them around the 260 area, maybe 260, 267, depending how strong this is and how strong it's going. But so far it looks good. Right. Okay, CVX. All right, oil's been strong. I mean, it's just kind of, with the market going up and down violent ways, it's kind of just chilling, forming a bull flag, and, that's what it's still doing right now. It's chilling, forming a bull flag. It needs to break that 170. Once it breaks that 170, we got targets here. Then we got 172.50. Then you got 175. And then we got that 180. But it looks good. Just a normal bull flag. Nothing crazy. All right. Nike. Nike right here looks good. It popped, drop, pop, drop. Okay, right here looks good. RSI held that 50 all the way. That was good. Okay, you break this these moving averages here, and you're gone. So that's the only problem it needs. It needs to be solved. It needs to break 67. Breaks out of 67, holds above the moving averages. It could run. It could run. Okay, that's what. Once it gets past that, it could run and then go to 70, 75. Just needs to break that 67. Not that far away. Not that far away. NBIS. All right. NBIS. NBIS really sold off hard today. I saw that. I saw it. I was looking at it. But it held the 50 SMA came back up. That was pretty good. Okay, holding the 50 on the RSI. Still a little bull flag here. It can't get past this general area. It needs to get past that 108. Once it get past that 108, we got 115 and then 135. But right now it's consolidating, so we need to get through that 108. Otherwise, this bull flag is getting longer and longer and longer. We don't want that to happen. Okay, so once that bull flag gets too long, it falls down. So, hopefully they got enough buyers here, and we come up, hold this area, then we go higher. 115, break out, 115 to 120. Okay. SoFi is kind of chilling, holding on for life here. One thing I've been looking at SoFi. I still have some. I think I have some leaps on it still. I have to check again. I think I checked and yes. So the only problem with SoFi is, You know, it had this little head and shoulders pattern on it. It tried to fire, and then it came back up and trying to hold. Now it's like barely holding on. RSI can't hold 50. You know, it's just I don't know. I mean, SoFi was good to us in the last couple years. You know, the last year itself, we made a lot of money on SoFi. Made a ton of money on SoFi, but this scares me here. You know, this scares me. This scares me here because this is a giant box. It's a giant box, right? It's a giant box. So we could look at it here on the monthly. It's a giant box, and we still have that bull flag, but it's just ugly. It's just ugly, and if that doesn't hold, you know, it comes back down here to 20. Comes back down there to 20. You know, $5. That's a big move. It's a big move. You know, it's just like what did I say earlier about that bull flag on NBIS? Said if it gets too long, it falls. Okay, this is a weekly bull flag. If it gets too long, it falls. So we don't want it dropped to 20, right? We want to stay in there. That's why I said it's scary. RSI on the weekly looks good, holding 50. Squeeze for me, okay? But it's just that daily. That daily is getting just too long. I don't like it. So, you know, as long as it holds this area, cool. It needs to get back up there. It needs to stop, you know, teeter-tottering on the edge. So, you know, that's something that you want this away from. Because if it falls, you're going to 22, and then you're going to 20. Okay? So, you want it to go pop up from here. And yes, it does have a double reversal. Right, it has an inverted hammer, and then it has a doji, okay, indecision candle. You know, so whatever tomorrow brings, it needs to happen. It needs to go up. All right, hood. I think I told somebody here. I don't know if it was. I forgot when, but I said I didn't like hood. I said it's going to go back to 100. I just didn't like it. I mean, it's the same thing with SoFi here. You know, it's at that 105 teeter-tottering. It's on a downtrend. You know, it has this bull flag, but it's just not showing me any strength right here. You know, it's like almost telling me it wants to come back to 96.8. Wants to come back to 96.80. I think, you know, hopefully that 200 SMA holds it up, but it's telling me 96.80 or 100, between 96.80 and 100, and then maybe it turns around. But I mean, you could see this. You know, you could see that. You know, try to get over that 50, can't. Try to get over that 50, can't. Down. Squeeze is firing down as well. Not looking the best. Not looking the best. I mean, see, the difference here is on the hood, right? Hood, you're at 105. You know, if you lose $5 on hood, it's not as bad as losing $5 on SoFi. SoFi's $5 loss is a lot bigger than your hood's $5 loss. So, you know, but it still looks like it's going to come down. Okay. All right. MDT. All right, MDT. It got over 99.50. That's good. It got over the 20 SMA, 50 SMA, 100 SMA. Okay, now it just needs to get over this 101.28. And once it could do that, we go 101.80, 102.58. And that's the big one right there, 102.58. If we could get through that, then you could cruise to 105, 106. But otherwise, you got to hold up above 99 now, right? Preferably 100, but 99, you got to hold above now, and then you're fine. Okay, hon. Okay, Han is good. Han looks good. You know, I had that breakout. Okay, I didn't like this, right? Remember, I told you guys, I think, hold on. When did that happen? Because it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Happened Monday. Maybe I did say, I said this, because I remember seeing this, and I said, if that gap's down, that's not good. And it did gap down. And that's usually a shooting star. But then today came up. Okay, so that kind of negates it. Because if you come back up and you're already up here, that negates that. So, let's remove this. Let's get another one. Okay, so now you're in a channel. You're in a bullish channel towards 224.50. Okay, that's what you need to get over. So if we go on the 4-hour chart, this is a lot cleaner on the 4-hour. You can see the highs and the lows hitting perfectly. So you're here currently on the lower end. So it looks like you're heading towards 224. So right there, looks good. That channel, solid. You're headed to 224.50. So that's where you're going. Be careful there, though. Okay. ADBE, right? Adobe. All right, Adobe. All right, Adobe, I said was going to 300. It hit 300. Okay, now does it look like it's bottoming? Well, I don't know if it's bottoming, but it's over exhausted from falling, and it's having a bounce. Okay, could it be a bottom? Sure, but is it a bottoming? I don't know. Is it a bounce? Yes, definitely a bounce, but let's see. We got a squeeze firing down. We got RSI here on the weekly at 32. Okay, no bullish divergence. Okay, we thought it had a bullish divergence here, and it cut it. It ended it. We had to get out of that. Let's see, monthly. Okay, here, let me extend this one. Okay, so that's the bottom there, and that one is at 279. Okay, so could possibly be if they're trying to cut short of that bottom of 280. Yeah, that could definitely be. This one to bounce, at least it's gonna bounce to 300, and then it's gonna bounce to 308 to 310. Okay, that's just on this big bear flag. Because if you look at this, this is a bear flag now. Okay, this is a bear flag, and this is a resistance of the bear flag, 308.50. Okay, so it can bounce, yes, 100%. Bounce up. But be careful with that 308.50. Be careful with that 310 area. And then but yeah, does it look? It looks like a inside day candle. Okay, if tomorrow is green, then anticipate you're going to 308 within a week, or if not by the end of the week. It depends on how much momo this one has. But I would buy some time on that. All right, Oracle. Okay, Oracle. Been a drag. Okay, let's clear this out. All right. Okay, Oracle here. Okay, Oracle. Okay. So Oracle here, we thought we had this breakout here before, right? Hit the 50, rejected. Hit the 50, rejected. All right. So now, what's the deal on this one? So the deal is this is 177. Okay, that low is 177. Okay. Okay, we need above that 177 by the end of the week. If we want to turn around, if we want to call this a bottom, which it could possibly very well be a bottom. Okay. We need to turn it around by the end of the week, and we need to get back above 177.80, and this will turn around into a bottom candle, and we're going to be holding the 100 SMA, okay, on the weekly, okay, and we're going to be holding this support area here as well, and then we could turn that around and then set up to go turn around and go higher. Okay, so right now we need to turn it around and go above that 177.80. So by Friday, this needs to be 177.80, or else we're not turning around. Okay, and that's pretty as simple as it is with the Oracle. It needs to be above 177.80 by Friday, and then we could turn around and rally. Okay, if it's more, if it's say 180, great. Anything above 177.80, that's any setup for next week to actually rally up to into the 180s. Okay. Okay, Meta here. Okay, so Meta's a little different. Like Meta's in a long-term downtrend here. So long-term downtrend here. Okay, it's respecting the downtrend. Here at 608 level, we had a indecision candle, and then we have another indecision candle. So it doesn't know what it wants to do yet. So, you know, it's just kind of chop. See how like both these are equal. The top and the bottom are equal. Here the same thing. Top and the bottom are equal. Doesn't matter what the body is. The top and the bottoms are equal. It's just telling you that it doesn't know yet. The buyers and sellers are equal right now. So it's pretty much saying the price of what it is the price that it wants it to be. So if tomorrow we go higher, then the buyers are taking over and we're going to go higher, which I think it's going to happen. Or you're just going to chop in the zone right here, 608 between 626 until earnings comes up. And on the 28th, we have a lot of tech earnings coming this week, you know, this coming week. We have a lot of tech earnings. So I don't see any bullish divergence really. I just see Meta as a chop area. I think it will do well, but I still think it's a chop area. I think we'll go 626, maybe a little bit higher. But if you really want it to break out, you got to be breaking out above 642.23. Okay, this is where the 20 SMA is, like 642 to 645. You need that breakout. And then we're out on the gate, then we're running to 700 again. Okay. All right. So Siri. All right, Siri. I said that and my phone lighted up. Let's see. Let's see here. All right. I mean, it looks like a good base. Looks like what a descending triangle here. So descending triangle here. It looks like a nice little bounce here, but I think this is going to be a descending triangle until earnings, which is first week of February. But I mean, that's what the descending triangle is setting up for. So you're going to chop around in these two areas until here. It's going to make a decision up or down. All right. Let's see. All right. Realty. Realty income. Okay. Let's see here. All right. Well, you know, it looks like it's in 4 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. It just got out of the second 2 and it's getting into the 4th one. So we're at the lower end of the box of the 6130. As long as it holds above 6130, you know you're going to go to 63.38. But you see the chop there. Lots of chop in that area. Looks good though. It is, it's breaking out of this here setup. A lot of consolidation. RSI looks great. Okay, squeeze looks great. Okay, we're holding up. I think it goes 63.38. But you just gotta hold it. It already hold it once, twice, well, 3 times. First, second, and third. Okay, it's just going to keep kind of grinding up towards that level to 63.38. It's going to keep grinding there. All right. BA just did that one already. Kind of did a little spiel on BA too. See, MicroStrategy. All right, MicroStrategy. It's almost like MicroStrategy is making an inverse head and shoulders here on the daily. So we got one shoulder, we got the head, and then we got the right shoulder building right now. And here we have a nice reversal candle inside day. So if tomorrow we are higher than we were today, then we're going to run it. So if we could get past 165.72, okay, 165.72, we could get past that. Okay, that's the breakout. All right, that's a breakout. We could get past that tomorrow, then we could get back into the 170. Okay, we hold that. Okay, we could start running it up. And if we start running it up, this could be an inverse head and shoulders. And that inverse head and shoulders, where's it going to take us? Let's see here. That inverse head and shoulders is going to take us to 232. Okay, 232. So if that is that inverse head and shoulders, if that's that, it's an ugly one, but it's there. 232, and this could be the bottom of the right shoulder here, and we're holding the 20 SMA. That's good. All right. All right. GILD looks good. I think I said this last time. This one looked good. Gilead Sciences, it looks good. Looks like it keeps going. I think was it on the weekly? Yeah, we had that ascending triangle. Broke out. Looks good. Chopped around. I think this one looks good. Where's it going? Okay, let's see here. We got that box. That box. Okay, that box there. Okay. So, we're going here. Bam. 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 All right, so this breakout here, it's going to take us 134 and 140. So as long as it stays above 128, 129, it should go 134, 140. Looks good. Gilead Sciences. Okay. Google. Google looks good. Held the 20 SMA. Okay, I wish it closed up a little bit higher, but that's fine. I just wanted to close above that 328.83. It closed 50 cents lower, but if Google gets back above there tomorrow, I think we could get past that 332, and then we could get back into that 335 area, and 338 by the end of the week. If not, a little bit more, but I'm thinking 335, 330. I mean 337, 338 by the end of the week. It just needs to get past this area here, and then gets it back in this little home right there that it has. Okay. Okay. NVTS. All right, NVTS looks good. Nice little bull flag there, setting up, but it's still kind of consolidating, chopping around. Looks good. I would definitely be buying longs. I said buy longs at like 7, 8. I said it, but it needs to get above that 9. It's above that 9 and it's holding, and that's good. That's what you want to see. It's looking like a little dragon pattern here, which is good. That's nice. Look at a little dragon. There's a tail. That's one leg. That's another leg, and there's a neck and the mouth. Okay, RSI is following through as well. So this one looks good. Looks good. Looks like it's setting up. You know, these are the type of stocks, you know, you buy and sit. You know, just hold on. Okay. All right. All right. BAH. All right. Booz Allen Hamilton. Huh? Okay, here. Okay. All right. Okay, so this one has like a, it looks like it has a little good trajectory to it, but you have hard resistance right here at 100. So it looks like a bull flag setting up, and it looks good, but I think it's gonna possibly fire that bull flag, and it's gonna get stuck right here between 100 and 101, and then it's gonna stop, and it's gonna fall back inside. That's what. Oh, and it has earnings coming up as well. 123. So 2 days. Yeah. I don't. You know, it's just I see the consolidation pattern that this has. You know, the consistent consolidation pattern, and this one I don't think it's done yet. But I mean, earnings could change all of that. You know, RSI is above 50. You know, a little bull flag. You know, earnings could change all that and it gets back inside here and goes to 115. But otherwise, I think it's, you know, the consolidation is not done yet. But earnings, it's 50-50. So, you know, I can't speak on that. I don't even know the company that well. I don't know the company at all. But that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like to me. Okay, now Lulu. All right, Lulu. Lulu did us great, and then it just did us dirty. Okay, but I mean, it's at gap fill, and I do think Lulu Long's leaps are still good. Why did I say that? Why did I think that? Well, because it got out of this downtrend here, and it's starting to make an uptrend. And even though it's not the perfect uptrend, that's okay because everything doesn't happen on your time. But is this a still bull flag on the weekly? Yes, it is. Still bull flag. It's at the gap fill. Maybe it's the best opportunity it's going to give you to get in before it takes off because this is still wave 1 and a wave 2. Okay, so this wave 2 is still set up nicely. So if you want to add to your leaps, I would do so now. It's holding the gap fill. That's all you want. You want it to hold. Okay, we do have a squeeze firing down, but if we're holding the gap fill and it's not going any lower, then that means it's holding. So you could do that, hold it. We set up for some longs here, And I said this thing could still go to, what did I say before? 270. I said 270, 270 to 300. That's a good possibility. That's almost double the price. It's almost double the price. I think from here, those longs to 270, 300, all day, all day. I got them here all day. I get it here all day too. If we get back over 200, it's just that he confirmed that this was the opportunity that you should have bought on. So long terms look good. We hold that gap fill. Hey, that's all you need. Okay, Delta Airlines. Okay, Delta. Delta looked okay. It looked good till. Okay, so. Okay. I don't like that. So this is hot all-time highs. Well, previous 52-week highs at least. But we rallied, broke it, and then came back under it. So I don't like it under 69.95. 69.98. So basically 70. I don't like it under 70. And what is that? 20 SMA? 70. So I don't like it under the 20 SMA. And I don't like it that it's under the 20 SMA in the first place. So I don't like it under 70 because of all-time highs. I don't like that it's under the 20 SMA because it's a 20 SMA and it should be above that. So I think it's going through a very long chop area, or it's going to slowly come down into a channel. Channel like this. A channel like this. I think it broke, and then I think it sets a channel like this down. So be careful. I mean, it could be wrong, but I still don't like it below 70. I like airlines. I like Boeing, but Boeing is also military and aerospace and stuff like that. Delta, it's just consumer airplanes, tickets and travel. So Boeing doesn't get tickets, right? It just sells the planes. Two different things. Sure, it's airlines, but it's a different kind of airlines. It's more aerospace, military. But I like Boeing. I do. Delta. I can't say I'm the biggest fan here. Especially below 70. If it changes, it gets back above 70, then there's something we could talk about. But below it, I think it comes back down to the 266. Yeah, to 66. All right. There's a couple stocks I saw that I liked. Texas Instruments. It has earnings though, and I don't know how it's gonna perform. Again, it's in next week. It tried to break out, failed. It got the breakout again. It failed again. Right? It didn't quite fail, but it failed to break out the downtrend, at least. So this massive downtrend, it failed to break, but it looks good. If it could break through there, it goes 198, 205. But the main thing is, I'm not asking you to play this breakout. If you see it over 200, it's a big buy. So let's see, 200. Create a line, crosses above, buy. Okay, so create a little alert for there. So it crosses at 200. This one's going to be a good one, and it's going to be a good one to 221 and more. I think this one is a good long term play. I don't think it's ready now, but I was just looking at it because this long term consolidation zone here, that could be good or bad, right? But at least it's gonna come back up to these areas, and if we do break out, this thing's going a lot higher. But Squeeze setting up. RSI looking good above 50. You know, everything looking good on this on the monthly. Okay, weekly, RSI above 50. Nice bull flags, nice bull flags. You know, hit the support area where it should. Okay, Stochastic's doing well. You know, so you know, of course, it's gonna be based on the earnings, but you know, if it crosses that, then boom, no reason not to jump on it. All right. Wow, that's crazy. Nobody asked me about AMD. Nobody asked me about NVIDIA. That's crazy. Okay, well, here, I'll just do them just cause. AMD, okay, looking solid. Going to 255, 258, 260, 264, 267. Okay. Breaks out above there, we go 300. Okay. AMD looking strong, really strong above that 222. Okay, I've been saying that forever. Okay, it broke out of this box right here. Broke out of this box. Okay, where is it going? Well, it's already there where it's supposed to go, but I think it goes higher. And it goes tries to test all-time highs again. Okay, that's AMD. Okay, and then we got NVIDIA. NVIDIA been a pain in the butt as well. But I think once it gets over that 184.30, we go, you know, 185.58. Then once we get over that 186.30, you know, we jump it back into the 190 areas. And then we head back to that 193, and then we start rocking and rolling. Okay? All right. And then Tesla. Here. Okay, Tesla, we hit this area, almost hit 415, held up 423.70, held the 100 SMA at 430. I think we go 442, and if we could break that 442, I think we would hit that 450. Okay. Now, for Bitcoin, you know, we got fooled. You know, we got fooled a few times on Bitcoin. This one was the biggest fool. Okay, and then we came back. We're still in this chop area though. You know, still on edge until it's above 195 and moving. Because you know we always have a chance to break it to the downside. But right now we're in that overall chop zone. But we're holding this 888 so far. But we're below these two moving averages. We need to get back above them. Okay. All right, guys. That's all I got for you guys tonight. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys next week. Good night.